for that we vote on each of those nominations until we have a majority of the board. And then we will, once that office of president is closed and we have someone selected, that person will take over and conduct the next two nominations for vice president and secretary. So at this time, I'd like to open up the nomination and take the names down for individuals that are being nominated for the office of president.
I nominate Cheryl.
Okay, and Lisa, all right.
Nominate Karen Disharoon.
All right. Karen, that was Brian. Are there any other nominations for the office of president? Okay, and there's no one else who would like to nominate for themselves for office of president? All right. Okay, the nominations for president will occur in the order in which they were received. I currently have two nominations, one for Cheryl Bluth, which was presented by Teresa Holhauser, and one for Karen Disharoon, which was presented by Brian Zahn. I'll ask for a motion to approve the nomination of the first nominee. A motion?
So, Teresa. Yes. Okay.
Can you, yes.
Do I have to read this, right?
Yes,
I move
please.
to nominate Cheryl to serve as president of the Board of Education for a 2-year term.
Okay.
We don't need a second.
Oh, we don't, oh, very good. Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Holzhauser,
Aye.
Humbles,
No.
Reed,
Nay.
Zawin,
No.
Bluth,
Aye.
Bozeman,
Aye.
Disharum.
Nay.
Okay, motion did not carry. Thank you. In order of nominations, I'll now ask for a motion to nominate our second candidate, Karen Disharoon.
I move to nominate Karen Disharoon to serve as president of the Board of Education for a 2-year term.
Roll call.
Yes, please.
Humbles,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Zawin,
Aye.
Bluth,
Nay.
Bozeman,
Nay.
Disharum,
Aye.
Holzhauser.
Nay.
All right, we have a majority of the vote for candidate Karen Disharoon to serve as president of the Dunlap Board of Education. I will now ask you to please come as the newly elected president and assume the duties of the next two officers. And thank you all for your participation.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Okay, I will ask for nominations for the office of vice president.
I would like to nominate Beth Reed for the office of Vice President.
Okay, did you hear that? Beth Reed. And can we have a roll call, please? We don't need a second, right?
No.
It was Commissioner.
Oh, are there any other nominations? I'm sorry. Are there any other nominations for vice president? Okay, hearing none. Now roll call.
Reed,
Aye.
Zawin,
Aye.
Bluth,
Aye.
Bozeman,
Aye.
Disharum,
Aye.
Holzhauser,
Aye.
Humbles.
Aye. Okay, the motion carries.
Congratulations.
Okay, congratulations, Beth. Okay, sorry. Okay, and are there any nominations for the office of secretary? I'd like to nominate Teresa Holhauser. Okay. And are there any other nominations?
I would like to nominate Brian Zawin.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Okay.
A roll call, please. For the first one, which is
First one, Dawn, you
Teresa
move to
Holzhauser?
Teresa, right? Yes. Okay.
Yes, I move to nominate Teresa Holhauser for the office of secretary.
Reed,
Nay.
Zawin,
No.
Blue,
Aye.
Bozeman,
Aye.
Disharum,
nay.
Olshauser,
Aye.
Humbles,
Nay. So the motion fails. Could we have a roll call, please, for the second
so
nomination?
Reed's nominating Zawin, right?
Zawin.
I move to nominate Brian to serve as secretary of Board of Education for a 2-year term.
Zawin,
Aye.
Blue,
Aye.
Bozeman,
Aye.
Disharum,
Aye.
Olshauser,
Aye.
Humbles,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
and carried.
Okay, the motion carries. Congratulations, Brian.
Congratulations, Brian.
And now I'd like to ask for a motion to adopt the Board of Education meeting dates. Is there any discussion on the proposed meeting dates for the Board of Education?
I know there was one change, the December meeting did change. So
Yeah.
that's a week earlier than the normally scheduled meetings.
Okay. And did we want to talk about times?
Would this be an appropriate time? I would like to consider possibly moving the meeting times up. I know I've discussed this with others, and not as a formal discussion, but I think it's doable. Would it be a hardship to move the board meeting date or time up from, say, 7 to 6:30 or 7 to 6?
Not for us at all.
Not for me.
I think
I think it's more whatever your schedules are.
Well, I feel that, I know people may have a hard time with work, but I feel that most of us would like to be home earlier than we would like to be home for dinner and possibly, I think it would be conducive to allowing people to get up the next day and go to work, hopefully with maybe 1 hour more of sleep. I know sometimes your nights are pretty late, so I would like to
I guess
consider.
my only concern is that even though the regular board meetings are at 7 p.m., oftentimes we'll have a committee meeting at 6 or 5, and we're trying to get a lot of the bulk of the information discussion items done during those meetings, and there's presentations. And in an effort to get out earlier at the end, we start those committee meetings earlier, and I think that would run into work schedules if we had to start those committee meetings any earlier than the 5:30 or 5 o'clock time. So I think that may be a concern. And also, anybody who has any kids in sports, that may be an issue too, because sometimes right after school, there's some kind of activity and you're coming from that. I know that's my situation a few times, but, whatever the board decides, it's been pretty much this way for quite a bit, and I think we either catch it on one end or the other. Either we start earlier and we finish a little bit earlier, or we're going to have to be here for a longer day. I don't know. We've been starting pretty early. So we've had some committee meetings starting at 5 o'clock, so I don't know how much earlier we'd be able to go.
Why don't we go around the table and see if
But
that
if we
would
do
be
a committee meeting, if we can keep them to an hour, 5 to 6. I'm okay with my schedule. I can make it happen at 5 for if we have a committee of the whole. Even if you go to 4:30, but 5's fine with me. So I'm okay moving it up. I prefer to be home earlier and stay here later.
Teresa, how's your schedule?
Normally I can make it at 5, but, it's very difficult to get here by that time on several days. But, if it's a consensus with most people on the board, then, it's a lot easier for some to get here than others, so.
But it would be a challenge.
Would it be, would it be a hardship?
It depends on the day.
Okay. So would you rather have them later?
Well, I'm also going to, from that perspective, 5 o'clock, if we do have anyone who wants to come to the meeting public participation-wise, that might be difficult for them to get here too. So, and I don't know how much that plays into, our meeting. So I just want to make sure that everybody's able to participate, when we do have a meeting. And as sports as well, I don't know how that affects those on the board as well.
Would 5:30 be a better compromise?
You mean 6:30?
Yeah, because we were talking about the regular meeting being at 6, is that right?
6, right.
Six.
Regular meeting.
Would there be any fewer
committee of the whole meetings if we started earlier? Is there any chance of that, or?
I think that's up to the board. I mean,
Okay.
that's, a lot of those items are driven by items that you've requested. If it looks like we need to start too early, we can always put that during the regular meeting. There's just no guarantee we'll get out any earlier, but I think it's worth a good chance to try it.
Or we could try 6:30 and try to do an hour-long committee meeting at 5:30? Does that help you with your sports?
Well, you know, and it's not, mine will be not an issue soon, because we'll be, you know, graduating, moving out, but I do attend some other sporting events. I guess my concern is just that, you know, I don't know how does that affect the staff at all? Because we have quite a few staff. No, that's okay, 6:37
I think
would
our
be a
staff
difference.
would welcome that.
Okay, so as long, I mean, we're gonna be here earlier anyway. So I guess it's just gonna condense the committee time, because we probably won't be able to make committee meetings any earlier than 5 to get people here. So we'll just be condensing the committee mainly, because we're already here.
And if it
We're
should
already here
happen
at
that we would need a longer meeting for committee time, we could just, I mean, we could have it on a different day.
different
We
day.
can always call that a
Exactly.
meeting if we need to.
Yeah. So it sounds like
Okay,
everyone.
6:30?
6 or 6:30 though? I thought I've heard both.
6:15.
How about, let's ask Teresa, because it sounded like her schedule was maybe the most
Is it
sensitive.
between 6 and 6:30 now?
Yes.
6 is fine.
Yeah, 6 is fine.
Okay.
6.
And if it doesn't work, we,
But the intent is still to get out of here. We're not going to extend the meeting an hour. I mean, we still want to be out of here.
Sounds great.
And we'll make
Just
sure
wanna
that we
make sure
get that
that's
out,
clear.
because right, it's been 7 o'clock for how long?
Yeah,
And so
we'll
we'll make sure
advertise
people
that.
are not coming and missing, oh, I thought it started at 7.
Right.
So,
So we'll start this next month.
Okay.
So which would mean that the suggested time, or the time that we try to get out of here by is going to be, move that from 10 o'clock?
And the policy
to
manual says
9?
10, so I would say 9 would be your goal, to be able to get out of here by 9 o'clock.
so we posted for
right,
this
so we'll
year.
have to change it.
Well, we're approving starting in May, aren't we?
It's starting
Or is it in June?
July.
July.
Oh, July.
Yeah,
July.
it's already
Wait until
posted,
July?
yeah, I think we should leave.
Sure. Yeah, why don't we? And then that gives us a couple little bit to...
And we can
People
advertise
can
it a
think
lot.
about it a little more. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay, is there any other discussion regarding the proposed meeting dates and times?
6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
In July.
In July.
In July.
And so, is there they just amended as they move?
Just adopt the
Okay.
meeting dates as presented.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt the Board of Education meeting dates for the 2017-18 school year?
So moved.
Oh, yeah, say it.
Oh, I moved to adopt the 17-18 Board of Education meeting dates as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Cheryl Bluth and seconded by Brian Zowen. Is there any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Boo,
Aye.
Bozeman,
Aye.
Disharum,
Aye.
Holzhauser,
Aye.
Humbles,
Aye.
Park. Oh, sorry. Reed.
Aye.
I knew I was going to do this. Zowen.
Aye.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Understandable. Okay, the motion carried. Is there a motion to adjourn to closed session?
I move to adjourn to closed session for the following purposes as stated in the Open Meetings Act. The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it was moved by Teresa Holzhauser and seconded by Abby Humbles. Is there any discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Bozeman,
Aye.
Disharum,
Aye.
Holzhauser,
Aye.
Humbles,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Zowen,
Aye.
Blue.
Aye.
Okay. Say we're adjourned to closed session.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, closed session, where do we go? We go in there.
There should be another folder.